Great Grand Rising. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in, guys. Today, I'm asking this question. Does it still feel like something is just off? If you are still feeling like something is just off today, you're going to discover the number one reason why and start living in agreement with your highest or deepest knowing. Come on in. Let's take a good healing deep breath in and exhale. Let's bring our focus, our energy, and our attention to this sacred moment. Nothing else matters. Whatever came before this moment, we want to just release that right now and get anchored and centered here. All right? Again, do you still feel like something is off? Something is still not just quite adding up. Listen, we've been talking for the last few weeks. Come on in, guys. Let me just refresh this and make sure that we are live on Facebook as well. Okay, there we go. So I can see those comments. Come on in, Great Grand Rise, and let me know you're here. I apologize for being a couple minutes behind today. All right, we're here. All righty, good. So again, let me just breathe and start from the top. Does something still feel like it's off to you today? We're going to dive into the number one reason why, and then allow yourself to start living in agreement. Just put those two words in, living in agreement with your highest or deepest knowing. So we've been talking for the last several weeks, and I'm not speaking to novices. If you're a part of my community, a part of my platform, you have already done the work. You're doing the work because it's ongoing, right? You're not beginners anymore. You are deeply aware, consciously aware. You've already started the awakening process. You're waking up. You understand what it means to be able to tap in. If awareness now is seeing and awakening is remembering who you truly are, then welcome to the third dimension, which is alignment. Alignment is becoming and living what you are aware of, what you have awakened to in real time. I want to say that again. Alignment is becoming and living what you are aware of, what you have awakened to in real time. Breathe that in. So now the core intention is to move from the awareness of truth to being able to live that truth consistently. So we've spoken about this many times. You understand the difference between awareness, where you could see, you could probably even discern, and you're getting to know yourself, to understanding, right? Being able to explain it, to teach it, to preach it. But alignment is all about the knowing, and knowing is all about embodiment. And embodiment is all about living what you know, what you see, what you divinely sense, living it in real time. Being able to live it in real time. And we've all been there. And I'm sure if I were to ask you right now, you would be able to say, Dr. E, I get it because I'm right there. This is where pain and frustration can begin to set in when you have been doing all you know to do, but still in real time, we're not making the right choices. And beloved, it's going to all come down to choices. I remember years ago watching, what was it called? Stormy Weather. If any of y'all remember that from way back in the day, either was Stormy Weather or Cabin in the Sky, right? This is going back way back to my mother's generation. But there was a song that one of the characters sang in it. I believe it was Cabin in the Sky. And the song was called Consequences. Life is full of consequences. Every decision, every choice, every fixation that we have, there is a consequence attached to everything that we do. Nothing, I want to say this, and I know you're going to understand me, nothing is free. Everything costs something. So we say life is free. And we understand that there are a lot of resources that should be free that we're paying for. But my point in saying that today is to convey this. Every choice we make, every action we take has a consequence. Sometimes immediate, sometimes delayed. Can you please put that in your notes? Sometimes immediate, sometimes delayed, but there's always a consequence. I figured out what I'm doing when this happens. Okay, right? So we want to get to where we are experiencing better consequence, right? You want to understand, you want to begin to experience better consequences. So when we start looking at this third dimension of alignment, and we're coming to understand this more and more. So as we are here, you feel the gap. The frustration from inconsistency sets in. Now, this is real talk, beloved. This is what we live. But my whole goal is to get us to shift, right? From just understanding truth, seeing truth, being aware of truth, to be able in real time to make the right decisions, the right choices, take the right action that will help us to live this out in real time. So you feel the gap. I know it. I'm doing the work. I'm aware. I'm conscious. I'm not a novice. Come on, type in the chat today. I'm not a novice. Come on. Some of us has been at this for a long time, right? And so in doing research, I heard this gentleman say that, and we've spoken to this many times, that we begin to train our brain how to be inconsistent, how to become unfocused, how to sabotage ourselves. We train. Can you take full responsibility to say, I am training my brain how to respond? I'm doing that. Not a devil, not a demon, not my boss, not my wife or my husband. I am doing it. I'm training by every choice I make. Every time I give in to emotions, addictions, habits, patterns, I'm training my brain how to respond. So when we look at this and tapping into this third dimension, we feel the gap, frustration from inconsistency sets in, but there's a quiet knowing that you're ready for more. And today we want to crack open the more. So I want to release this, beloved. I want you to hear me. You are not behind. You are not behind. I want that to sit into your spirit. I want that to go into every cell of your being. You are not behind. Today, there is a divine invitation. You are being invited into this dimension of alignment. So what is alignment? I want to keep this as simple as I can. Please put this in your note. Alignment, simple and clear, is agreement between your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, your actions. Put that in your notes. That's it. Alignment. And then we're going to pierce deeper into that. But clear and simple, it's an agreement between what you think, what you feel, the choice you make, and the action you take or don't take, right? It's all about the choices, all about the consequences, right? So when there is a conflict between what you think and what you feel, the choice that you make and the action that you take, that's when resistance kicks in. And resistance is such a broad plane in itself. We could talk about resistance forever because we blame every demonic thing, every mishap on demons and devils, but it's just simply resistance because you are not coherent. You're not congruent. You're not in alignment and agreement. There's a disconnect between what you think, what you say, what you feel, the choices you make, and the actions that you take. So again, in doing the research for this, I heard this gentleman speak to this about how we program the brain. He said that he was such a lazy person. And to him, it was so embarrassing because he knew he wasn't lazy, but he just couldn't seem to follow through and do the things that needed to be done. His wife would ask him to get things done around the house, and weeks would go by, months would go by. Let's be real about this. I want you to think about this, even in your own environment. How many times can you see something in your living environment, on your job, a task that needs to be done, and you look at it and say, okay, I'm going to take care of that. And you walk past it, and you walk past it, and you walk past it. Every time you walk past it, you're training your brain to make a disconnection between what you say you want and what you actually do. Once you realize that there is a disconnect, and that's what we're here to do, we're here to start bridging the gap, and we're here to bring that healing and make new inroads so that we can make different choices and take different actions, one step at a time, beloved. So when there is a disconnect between what you think, what you feel, your choices and your action, that is wide playing field for resistance to kick in. Resistance will show up as excuses, I'm tired, delay, the stories you tell yourself. Now, resistance is a mean somebody, I'm here to tell you, and relentless. It will wear you out if you don't understand this is resistance. That's all this is resistance, right? But when your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, and your actions agree, that is when divine flow kicks in. That is when you operate from another dimension. Remember, I tell you in sacred text, right? The uncanonized Gospel of Thomas says that when your thoughts and emotions agree, remember, I used to quote that all the time. And our canonized text, Jesus the Christ is recorded as saying, whosoever shall say unto this mountain be removed, shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe the things that he say, right? He'll have whatever he say, paraphrasing. Well, the uncanonized Thomas says that when your thoughts and your emotions agree, then you can say to the mountain. See, are you getting this, beloved? We want to bring back recognition. We want to re-return. I'm not telling you anything we haven't previously discussed, right? Grand Rising, thanks for joining us, Marcus. Thanks for joining us, Lisa, Reese. Thanks for being here. Yes, you are not resistance, and we're not going to give place to resistance, right? Okay, so I want us to get this. When your thoughts and your emotions agree, then you can say to any mountain, then you can decree and declare, then you can call those things that be not as though they were. Then you can say, I believe, therefore I receive, right? So when your thoughts and your emotions, your choices, your actions agree, that is divine alignment. Then you can say to any mountain, be removed, because there's no disconnect, right? There's no disconnect. So I want us to reframe misalignment. I want you to breathe for a moment so that we can reframe misalignment. Misalignment is not failure. Misalignment is not a lack of discipline. Misalignment is not even about being lazy. It is not a spiritual weakness. It's feedback. Can I repeat that one more time? I want us to reframe misalignment. You are not a misfit. You are not a mistake. Misalignment is not failure. Misalignment is not a lack of discipline. It's not spiritual weakness. It's not God being angry with you. It's not you being a wretch. It's not you being miserable. It's none of that. It's feedback. There's a cost to misalignment. And we're thankful that we get the feedback so that we can take care of what misalignment has cost you. Misalignment will cost you energy leaks, because you'll start expending energy in areas that you shouldn't, because your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, your actions are not agreeing, right? I've been faced with a decision for a few weeks, and I'm looking at what would it cost me either way, to say yay or say nay. I want it to cost me where it's being a payoff that will advance me, and not a payoff that will decrease me. So when we look at misalignment, it can cost you by expending energy in areas that's wasteful, that's going to decrease you and not increase you. Some of y'all need to stop talking back to people. You need to stop engaging in their level of conversation, not get into the argument. Don't spend time blaming, revenge and payback and all of that. All of that is leaking energy, beloved, that you need to create. And I just felt the wind, and I could feel deep in my spirit screaming and saying, come on, y'all. We can do this. We can operate in divine alignment. We can plug up the energy leaks of giving these parasites our attention. You already know. Can I speak to this? Some of you already know. Your work environment is toxic. It's prejudicial. It might even be racist. It might be all of that, but you don't want your focus or attention there. That's an energy drain. Number 2, misalignment, and this one is big. All of these are big. Misalignment will always delay manifestation. So if you're wondering why things are taking so long and things have not yet manifested, why is it delayed? Where's the prophetic word that was spoken over my life? Where's the promise of riches? Where's all of that? We're not in alignment with it. Oh, I just want to breathe that for myself. Come on, you breathe that for yourself. Come on. Tell your neighbor, tell your neighbor, I'm in alignment with my deepest knowing today, right? I'm in alignment with my deepest knowing. So let's look at this. Delayed manifestation comes from misalignment. We have learned to brush that off and say, it's not my time. It wasn't God's will. When the time is right when you come into alignment, when you come into full agreement and cooperation with what you say, and then choose what you say, and then act on what you say. I want that for us. What else will misalignment cost us? It will cost you emotional instability. That's too deep for me to even go into today. All the things that happen because of emotional instability, all of the physical ailments that spring up in the body, all of the ruined relationships, all of the missed opportunities because of emotional instability. And then what happens too, when you stay in misalignment for a prolonged period of time, you start repeating cycles that are not beneficial, right? We only want to repeat cycles that are beneficial, that's increasing and not decreasing us. So, what are the benefits of having your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, your actions agree? One thing that will happen is that you'll come into clarity. And you always hear me say clarity is king, queen, right? Whatever works for you. When you are clear, resistance doesn't have anything to latch onto. Put that in your notes. When you are clear, resistance doesn't have anything to latch onto. When you're in alignment, you'll also have peace. You won't have to rush. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to put yourself in situations that will drain you, that goes against your values and your integrity. You'll be at peace. Ears can afford to wait. You remember I told y'all that story before. As an heir of God, a joint heir with Christ Jesus, for those that know biblical sacred texts, right? We can afford to wait. And again, wait is not passive. Wait means I'm at peace. Wait means I'm in divine alignment and agreement. When you have clarity and you have peace, you start gaining momentum. And then natural manifestation kicks in. And this is where I want us to really land today, right? This is where I want us to land today. I want us to start this week getting clear about an action to take. And this is how you're going to get clear. You're not just going to go into awareness and not do anything with that awareness. What we're going to do to get clear today is come into, this word came through yesterday when we were in private sessions, right? And we are being called into quiet consecration, quiet concentration. Put that in your notes. That's good right there. Spirit was admonishing us or calling us back into our DSPs. Go back and pick up the most powerful rituals you created, spiritual rituals that you have created that you know are powerful, that moves you forward. That is what Spirit means by quiet consecration. You're not going to broadcast it. You're not telling your best prayer partner, your ace, your ride or die. Quiet. Coming back into be still and know. Be still and know. Because when you tap into the rich inner life, to the God that is within, to your God self, all things are possible. Early this morning, I heard the old Roberta Martin singers singing. God specializes, and he will do What no other power can do. That's old time gospel, right? Old time. Have you any rivers that you think are uncrossable? Have you any mountains that you can't tunnel through? God specializes in things thought impossible. And he will do what no other power. That's the God in me. That's the God in you, right? Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that you could ask or think, according to the power that's at work in you. That's at work in me. So we want to come into alignment, agreement, cooperation with our thoughts, our emotion, our choices, and our actions come into agreement. And then once you come into this alignment check-in, what do I say I believe? And what am I constantly choosing? Come on, let's just stop. Because we could say this, we can be aware of it, and we see the gap, but we don't take any actions to move past the gap, right? So I want you to identify one area this week where you're going to get the movement of the body. You're going to take the actions, right? So let's take a deep breath in. If you can, close those eyes and breathe. Hand on heart if you can, if that's appropriate. Bowing the head slightly and relaxing. This week, I make an agreement with my highest self. I am going to take one action, one aligned action, one divinely inspired action that's going to move me in the direction of my goal, of my dream, of my declaration, of my desire. One area where you can see the gap between what you're saying, what you're aware of, versus what you're actually doing. I come into agreement with the truth of who I am. I release resistance. I choose alignment. Remember, resistance is going to show up. I'm tired. It's not going to work. I'm going to get it tomorrow. I'll get it. I come into full agreement and cooperation with who I truly am, my divine identity. I release resistance. I'm going to choose alignment. And what is alignment? Thoughts, emotion, what I feel, what I choose, then what I do. All that's going to agree this week. I want you to pick one area where you see the gap between what you're saying you believe and what you actually do. And then we want to take that teeny tiny step, and come into agreement, right? So we said, I'm not a novice. Talk to me in the chat. Where's the gap? We see it big time. We could say we're going to lose weight, but we don't. We say we're going to save money, but we don't. We say we're going to take the step, but we don't. What area do you see yourself constantly going around in cycles? Here in this northern hemisphere, we're in our springtime, right? We're doing spring cleaning. We're preparing to plant seeds because we want to get a harvest at the fall of the year. Beloved, I feel this. I'm closing with this today. Yes. Come on. Let's get ready to plant some seeds. Let's get a harvest this year. Let's see increase this year. I come to break up fallow ground. All these 30 minutes, I've been tilling the soil of your heart, making it pliable to sow seed on good ground. Ground that can produce. And beloved, you are good ground. Can you put in the chats, I am good ground? Come on, my wordsmiths. Give me some good words right behind that. I am good ground because my mind is sound. Come on, y'all. Can we do this? Y'all throw me some bars real quick. I'm good ground because my mind is sound. We're going to get a harvest this year. We're going to get harvest this year, right? Let's do this as we are closing out this month of April, and we are preparing to go into the month of March. No, not backward, forward. May, excuse me. Let's get this soil pliable. Let's get a harvest this year. Let's sow a $33 seed. I don't know about you, but I'm grabbing a hold to everything that came through over this weekend. Quiet consecration, quiet concentration to walk into this alignment, this dimension of divine alignment, agreement, and cooperation with my deepest knowing. Come on, say one more thing. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am good ground because I contribute to world going. I love it, Reese. I'm good ground because I contribute to the world going round. Come on, y'all. That's it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is good ground. Absolutely. All right, lovelies, please like and share this on your timeline, and we'll meet at the next Spiritual Success Connection. Bye for now.